All right, so I've recently seen that Haha Davis was arrested for domestic violence. He looked a little intoxicated in the mugshot. This video is not to make fun of him or anything like that. Really want to just pray for him. I feel like we all should pray for him and send our best wishes and hope that he gets things together. I'm gonna go out and assume that it was with the Spanish woman that he does a lot of his skits with. I guess one of those skits, came into real life. I feel like it's very toxic sometimes when you're doing these skits, especially when liquor gets involved. There weren't much details, as far as to what exactly happened and who it happened to. I'm just putting, my opinion out there or whatever. But if you don't know, as a black man, Spanish women, mainly Puerto Rican women, could be very toxic, especially when they have a little liquor in their system. I mean, they're already toxic when they're sober. So, it could be a very dangerous combination. Hopefully, they can separate because, one time is enough. That's all it takes with domestic violence. That's all it takes. And you don't want that on your record as a man. You really don't want that on your record. So, hopefully this is a learning situation or a learning lesson for Haha Davis and whatnot. And I know me myself, I don't like playing that skit stuff, like those skits when you're playing like a role, a toxic role, or acting like you and your lady are beefing. I just don't like it. I feel like it puts bad energy onto the relationship. And a lot of people get a laugh out of this stuff on the outside looking in, but sometimes these content creators have actual issues, actual problems, and go through actual arguments on a day-to-day basis, and they try to make light of the situation. For all we know on the outside looking in, him and his lady could have actually been having real problems. And again, they try to make light of the situation by doing the skits and whatnot, And that's with black men and black women too. That's with black couples as well. A lot of these skits that you see, they are imitating how the woman actually acts in real life, but they're trying to make light out of it because, a lot of people don't want to walk around mad at their significant other, or, they walk around like they got a chip on their shoulder. Or sometimes a lot of dudes be trying to spread awareness, but again, they're making light of the situation while spreading awareness, and I really do feel like this is the situation with Haha Davis because she just looks toxic. She reminds me of a Puerto Rican chick I used to date when I was young, in my early 20s, and she was very toxic, man, very toxic. And when you mix toxicity with liquor, it's definitely a cause for disaster, for sure. And I've said it before on this channel, I'll say it again, this is why I promote black men dating white women, and certain type of white women, not the white women that hate black people or dislike black people or dislike black women, not the type of white women that will let a black man bash, black women openly. Yeah, that's not the type of white women I'm talking about. Because I remember those cases where you had those black dudes from the South that were disrespecting black women and black people, and they got unalived by that same white woman that allowed them to do it. That's not the type of white woman that I've ever dated. That's not the type of white woman that I'm currently dating, that I've been with for 11 years. And that is not the type of white woman that I would encourage a black man to date. But there are plenty of white women out here that are not toxic, that are on the outside looking in and see what black men go through, see what black people go through. And, they are very understanding. They are very sympathetic. They are very passionate, loving, and they want to cater to a black man. There are plenty of white women out here like that. There are plenty of white girls out here that are just curious, that find black men attractive, have never dated a black man and want to, but just don't know how to want to be approached. Even me, I'm in a relationship, like I said, going 11 years, but I'll be out and about and I'll be in places where there's, kind of the suburb areas where there are not many black people, and white girls just be staring at me. And I know they don't be staring at me because they're racist or anything like that, but they be staring at me because they find me attractive. I know that. And I'm pretty sure that maybe even you watching this as a black man have experienced the same thing. Or when white women look at you, it's not because they're racist and they don't like seeing a black person. Sometimes they think you're attractive and they're single. Maybe they want you to approach them. So I just wanted to throw that out there, man, because we got to do away with the toxicity, man. It's a lot of that being promoted, and people are seeing it as laughter and making fun of it and joking. It is nothing to joke about, man. We need more loving couples that show them doing nice things for each other, whether that's surprising them with their favorite snack, their favorite piece of clothing, you know what I'm saying, surprising them with a gift or something like that, cooking for the significant other, just doing nice things for each other. We need more skits of that, and less skits of, you know, couples violating each other or disrespecting each other's property or disrespecting each other's space or destroying each other's stuff. Like that's all I see. And honestly, that's a lot of what I've seen from HaHa Davis, man. A lot of HaHa Davis shorts, if you ever checked out his shorts and his clips, are toxic. You know, they show him, you know, trying to defend his woman from other dudes looking, or they show him trying to calm his woman down, or they show her dressing very skimpy, saying she's going out to the club. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just stuff that you really don't want to be dealing with as a man. You really don't. You know, and again, I've watched some of HaHa Davis content. This is not to put him down, but he needs to grow up. A lot of black men do not want to grow up, man. They are extremely immature. And as a black man in 2025, with all the problems that we have in the world, there is an attack. There is an attack on good morals. Let me just say that. There's an attack on good morals. So with that attack being on good morals, who has time to play with their relationship? Who has time for that? We've got to deal with all the problems in the world. You got to deal with it, with Satan's attacks. You got to deal with Satan's workers, Satan's demons, always trying to attack you. Who has time to play with their relationship? I know I don't. So, again, let this be a lesson learned, man. Maybe HaHa Davis can shy away from these skits. I don't know if he's going to stay with her, if he decides to stay with her, or maybe he gets with somebody else. Stay away from these toxic skits, man, because they're not cool. You know, yeah, some people, we may get a little laugh about it, but it's not setting a good example. We need to set a good example as black men. We need to do better and set a good example, showing more good relationships. You can still have those funny skits. You can still have those funny skits here and there. Skits can be funny about couples just by cooking. You made a mistake and you know what I'm saying, you put in something that they don't like. You know, or you tickle them and you record them being tickled even though they said they weren't ticklish. I'm just throwing out examples. But it doesn't always have to be, oh, she's going out to the club and she's dressed like a whore. Oh, I don't want you to go out like that. You know? Or, oh, somebody's talking to her, let me step in and say, stay away from my woman, for example. It doesn't have to always be those type of skits, man, for enjoyment and entertainment and laughs. It doesn't have to be that. We need to do better, man, for real. As black men, as black content creators, we need to do better. And, you know, if it is the Puerto Rican girl, if I'm correct, you know, HaHa Davis, maybe he should stop dating Puerto Ricans, stay away from dating Puerto Ricans, man. And I don't know her social media. If she has her separate social media, if you guys check it out, if she has any pictures with her butt shown in the picture, poking out her butt, or any side butt pics, it's a no-no. HaHa Davis needs to date females. You know the type of females you go on their Instagram profile, they haven't posted for 4 or 5 years. It's been 4 or 5 years since they posted, but they still have an Instagram. Those are the type of women you need to go after. You know? That's headshot shorties. The women only take face pics, but they do have bodies, but you only gonna know unless you link up with them in person. Those are the type of women that HaHa Davis needs to go after. So again, man, I just wanted to make this video just to, you know, throw my opinion out there. This is not to put him down. This is not to make fun of him. This is just to say that domestic violence isn't cool. And it isn't cool no matter what the race is, whether she's black, Spanish, white, whoever she is. It isn't cool in general. And it's not a good look to have this on your record. But when you're dating a toxic female, when you know that a female is openly toxic, you are doing it to yourself. You are setting yourself up for failure. So I want to end with that point. All right, guys? I'll catch you in the next one. Peace and love.